So, hello everyone. Today our guest is Iker from Spain. Just few words about you. Tell us where are you now?
Okay, so I studied first in my hometown in Bilbao, my bachelor degree. Then I spent 2 years in MEPhI with you guys, and now I'm currently living in Tarragona, which is a city just 1 hour to the south of Barcelona.
Hmm, great. So, and you told that you got your bachelor degree. And what was it? And why did you
Mhm.
decide to go to MIFI?
Okay, so my bachelor degree was about industrial engineering, and during the last years I specialized in materials. And then afterwards, when I was just like looking forward what to do my master degree, I came across with the master from MIFI, which was about materials for nuclear and renewable energies. And since I was also very interested with the energetic part of the engineering world, I decided to give it a try, and that's why I decided to
Hmm.
go to MIFI.
Okay, and where did you came across to this? What source? Or maybe you
Yeah,
got advice from someone?
no, the first time I heard about MIFI, it was in the webpage. I think it is called Study in Russia or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Is
yeah.
yeah, it's a governmental Russian page.
Okay, so and then it was easy way to purchase or
Yes. Then afterwards, there was lots of information about different masters there, but precisely about this one, there was a contact email, some contact information. So I just started writing. It was with I think it was with Olga Petukhova
hmm
in MIFI, and I started just like writing with her. Then I started also writing with Mr. Yumaev, Pavel, and well, with
hmm
both of them, I fixed everything. They just told me you need this thing, this thing, this thing to come here. So I started taking all the documents, sending them to them. It
And
was not
so
very.
you just purchasing on one to one department in MIFID one program, or you had a choice?
No, no, no. In MIFI, I only applied for one program. Yes.
And it was material science in
Hmm.
Institute of Nuclear Physics and Engineering. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you decided to choose material science in MIFI.
Hmm.
Was it because you wanted to get deep knowledge, especially in nuclear material science, or not?
It was one of the reasons. Yes, like both of the parts were interesting for me: the renewable energy part and the material, the nuclear part. Both they were very interesting. It was not just like, oh, they're talking about the nuclear engineering, let's go
hmm
for it. No, both of them were fine.
hmm And so then, how do you feel now? Did you get what you wanted?
Well, yes, I did what I guess that you mean after the masters, yes,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
yes, I did what I wanted, and actually, partially thanks to me, the things that I studied there also, I got my job now here in Tarragona.
And what is your job then?
Well, I'm working in a nuclear power plant.
Ah,
I'm a trainee to be a nuclear operator. In the
mm.
in the control room.
You mean then really control? So your
Yeah.
knowledge is enough to be there? Or
No.
you also learn a lot?
No. Yes, the knowledge that I got in MIFI helped to get the job, but it's not enough. Definitely not enough.
Yeah, of course, because it's quite different,
Yeah.
different from what you said. But did you try to find something in materials, or you're just
Mm,
searching for something in nuclear?
I did. I did try. I tried many different job opportunities, but finally it was just this one, the one whom I got.
Mm.
Let's say.
Okay, and did you have job experience in Russia?
Yes, I did.
What it
Uh,
was?
I worked for a company called 3D Met,
Mhm.
and they were making prostheses for the teeth.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked with them almost 5 months, I think, or maybe 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just I was just helping them to make some finite element analysis on the prosthesis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So basically that's what I did. I mean, at the beginning they were also thinking of putting me to help them making some metallic prostheses, but then they canceled that project because they gave it to another student from MIFI, but then they just canceled it. So they just left me with the finite element analysis of their processes. And once I finished my job, they decided not to continue with me.
Ah, okay. So, but how did you find this job?
Uh,
Someone from MIFI gave you this opportunity?
yes. Alexei told someone who was an ex-student from MIFI. I mean, Alexei told me that.
Just a remark, Alexei Suchkov is um, what is his in English? I don't know. So he helps students in
Yes.
our department. He works with students with
Mhm.
some works. Just yeah.
Yeah, so Mr. Suchkov just like knew someone who was an ex-student from MIFI, and that person was needing some MIFI students, so they told me about
Mhm.
this opportunity. So I made an interview, and they took me.
Okay. But did you want to stay in Russia, or you had an aim to
Mm.
move back?
I mean, I wouldn't mind if I was to stay there for maybe a couple of years or something, maybe 2, 3, 4. I wouldn't have minded. I was very comfortable in Russia. I liked it a lot. But of course, the final goal was to come back to Spain.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what is your brightest memory from Russia? What did like living here?
Cold, especially winter.
Really?
It's something that I really don't miss.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, it's also beautiful, when you just live there for a couple of years, you do appreciate like going out in the middle of the street and everything's white, everything's covered in snow. It's very cold. It's something that I didn't ever felt because there are not many places in Spain where it snows like that, and definitely not where I lived.
Mhm.
Food is also something that I liked a lot and that I miss. Even the food from the canteen, that was pretty
Oh,
nice.
cool. So cool.
And I also liked a lot the architecture style, especially, I loved and I spent quite a bit of time walking through the Red Square because it's a very beautiful place in Moscow.
Oh, yeah. So, and then you told about canteen, and what about dormitory, the camps where you lived? Did
Uh-huh.
you live alone or with someone from,
Yeah,
I mean, a roommate?
I was not sleeping in the dormitory.
Uh-huh.
I was renting a flat. I was renting a flat.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Then let's come back to the questions from about your
Mhm.
studying here, and what was your master thesis?
Thesis. Okay. Uh, well, it was complicated topic. So I was basically trying to apply the crystal plasticity finite element method.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this very useful code, but still a bit ongoing. It's not like a final version of this code. It's called Damask. It has like a further name. Well, it's called Damask.
Mm-hmm.
It's been done by some guys in the Düsseldorf University, and they're implementing this crystal plasticity method. And I was just trying to. I took an alloy, that the people in the department were interested in, and I was just trying to apply this method for this alloy. But it was problematic because then in the end we discovered that some things that we wanted to do were not really still implemented in the code. So my knowledge of coding was not very profound. And, also, Dima Suk tried to help me about it, but it was still being developed. So we just made a very basically approach about this crystal participants.
Then you mean that your work consisted both with calculations and experiments, or
No,
not?
no. Because my part was only the calculations part, because the experiment part was done by Maria.
Ah, okay. So it is a big work which is
Yes.
divided into different. Okay.
Yes.
So did you got any experience with equipment, special equipment? Uh,
A bit. They allow me to play with the diffractometer of the lab.
to play.
Yes. And also we had the chance to use a bit, but half of the time it was broken or someone else was using it. Also with the electron microscopes that you have there in the lab, also we use them a bit. Yes.
Okay, but you mentioned that you work with in the company that 3D print,
Uh-huh.
and there did you use their
Yes.
3D print?
Yes, I was using their 3D printers at the beginning, especially when we were with this project with the metallic processes. We did use their laser sintering 3D printer.
Okay, so then you told that mostly your thesis was connected with the calculations. I think that this why this was more about calculation, just because your basic knowledges, or you wanted this, or maybe your scientific leader decided that it's better suits you. Can
They were asking me, like, I had like a meeting with Margarita, and they were just like trying to guide me a bit of like what I could like make my research about. And one of the things that I did want to do, it was something related with. I told them that I want to do something that is more calculations like. So they told me about this project that Maria was doing, that she was doing the experimental part, and they wanted to check whether the calculations part would match with her results. So I was like, oh, okay, looks like an interesting project. So I decided to participate.
okay, and maybe you remember any special subject or a special professor, teacher from who you liked most?
Well, I remember that her classes were very interesting.
What her
Also,
classes were
yeah,
about?
sorry. Um, so, for example, I remember from the first year that the classes from Margarita were very interesting, but at the beginning they were very difficult for me to understand because we never did a very deep approach about crystallography in my university. So at the beginning, when I was having her classes, I was completely lost. But the more, like, we were on the classes, and the more I was studying a bit by myself, I thought that there was like a whole tiny new world there undercover for me. And that's from the first year. I also liked a lot the classes with Jumaev about the microscopes, because I thought it could be something that maybe one day I could be doing. Though in the end, it seemed that no, because I I never found a job related with the materials world.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, I also liked a lot the uh, some of the international teachers that MEPhI was looking for. Especially, it was not really a subject; it was more like a seminar with him.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoyed a lot the classes with Mr. Garner also.
Mm-hmm. And this class is about nuclear fuel or what?
No. Garner was talking about some just approaches of how to use nuclear ion bombardment
Mm-hmm.
to simulate the damage that the materials would have in a nuclear power plant. They
Mm-hmm.
were very interesting. It was not really a subject because we did not really have an exam nor to study about it. It was more like a short, a long seminar because it was something like 6 or 7 classes with him.
Mm-hmm. It's just a short course.
Yes, a short course.
Uh-huh. Okay. Any memories from subjects related not only to the Department of Material Science, maybe some basic maths, physics? Was
Oh,
it tough for you? Because I often hear from our Russian students who even finished bachelor in
uh-huh.
MIFI that for them the beginning of the master course is very difficult because of maths and
Mhm.
physics.
Well, actually, the maths class that we had on the second year, they were not easy if I didn't already have studied some math before in the university. But no, but since I already studied that thing, they were not very difficult. But I do remember that yes, nuclear physics was pretty difficult. Yes, precisely. And it was one of the first subjects that we were doing on the first semester. And I thought that my mind was going to explode at the beginning, yes. But they were actually very, very useful. And when I'm studying to be like an operator here, we are also having some nuclear physics classes, of course. So I see when we were doing them, I saw my classmates here, my workmates, completely lost about it.
Mm.
So I most of the things that they were talking about, I already knew them, and I found it pretty easy after the classes in MIFI, to be honest. Yes,
And just, it was the course only for one semester?
yes, it was only for one semester.
Good, good, good. And so what mark did you got for the exam?
Uh, well, in 10, it should be something like 7.5, but I think that in the Russian up to 5 one, I think they gave us finally a 4.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Could be that they gave us a 4, yes.
Okay. So the knowledge of oil is quite enough to operate a nuclear reactor. Okay.
I guess it have to be.
So,
Well,
and
well, to
when
be honest, here I afterwards got it would be like a 5 here
ah
when I did the test here, but it was fine.
and did you do any test to catch this work? Any special knowledge tests, or it was just interview?
No, about to get this job, it was no. There was no special. Well, there were like some psychological tests and yes, interviews, but no special test about it, like a math or physics test. No, there was nothing like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, but did you try to? Yeah. Or I have already asked you. Did you search for job opportunity in Russia after you finished? And
Uh, I vaguely tried, yes, but most of the people didn't really want to hire a foreigner,
mm,
and then afterwards having to deal with visa stuff, working visa stuffs, and things
mm-hmm,
like that.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So, maybe you can tell us something about the aim to get a master degree. I mean,
Mhm.
for example, not all people understand why why they have to get master, and they think that the bachelor is enough for them. What do you think?
Well, I guess it depends, especially on what your branch is. I guess that for engineers, especially, and especially when you have done such a wide bachelor like mine, which is industrial engineering. And what is industrial engineering? You know, when I finished my bachelor degree, I had the feeling that yes, I knew a bit of everything, but I didn't really know a lot about something. So in my case, I did need to starting to specialize into something more that I would like working about. So in my case, it was necessary. And if anyone else has the feeling that after his bachelor degree, they know a lot of many things, but not much about some special topic, I would really recommend them to find a master's degree to focus on something that they like.
So it's all about your work in progress, the
Well,
positions that you can get.
I mean, I guess that you can already start finding a job with what you know, but many companies would like probably tell you like, hey, that and what exactly do you know? You didn't even have time to go deeper into your things. Yes, maybe the last 2 years you got specialized into something, but if you study 2 more years, you will know more things.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can also say that it was because of the work, because many companies they already require for some master's students.
Okay, so now let's talk maybe a bit about your Russian experience and
Okay.
yeah, maybe what did you do in MIFI? I mean, did you participate in international clubs? Oh,
Well,
okay. Oh, you were familiar with Russia before you entered MIFI.
no, I was not very familiar. Just a bit, general knowledge and some, yeah, just basically some general knowledge. I didn't know many things. But then during the masters, we also had Russian language classes. So also during the Russian language classes, they taught us a bit about the culture and so on. But basically, most of the things that I learned was just like talking with people, talking with Russian people, day to day life.
And how do you feel? Do you know Russian now or not?
Немножко.
Ah, yeah.
But I do feel that I am losing. Sometimes when I'm like here sitting and I think like, hey, how is my Russian doing? And I try to read something or listen to something on YouTube or something. I do realize that the more time I spend out of Russia, the less Russian I speak.
And was it hard for you? Because I usually hear from international students that Russian people speak English bad. You can't find English-speaking people everywhere. Did you feel this uncomfortable thing or not?
Mm, I mean, they are partially right, but for example, for younger people like us, it was not really a problem. You always go with someone of more or less our age, and they all know a bit of English. Of
Mhm.
course, if you are aiming for some older people, but that thing is not, I think, a problem in Russia. It's a problem everywhere. That all the people, not all of them speak English. Our generation already does speak a bit more of English because we learned it since we were kids.
Mhm.
So with our people age, with people from our age, I didn't find really this problem. Almost everyone knew at least some English.
Mhm. Okay. So then, when you traveled, or when you went to, I don't know, museum, you
Uh-huh.
didn't met this problem.
Um, well, I did have a bit this problem when I was in two places. When I went to Vladimir
Mhm.
and also in Murmansk area, I also
Oh,
had this
you
problem.
also
Yes,
travel
I,
there.
I also went there. Yes. Uh, in those places, maybe yes, a bit of more difficulties. But I also went to St. Petersburg, for example, and there I also didn't have many problems. Almost everyone spoke English there. It is true that maybe not in all the museums, they knew English, but they always have some, leaflets with some English information. And I also spoke a bit of Russian, so it was okay. My Russian was enough.
What else did you visit in Russia? St. Petersburg, Murmansk, Vladimir,
Tula, and well, I probably already those places already. Well, then there was another city also from the Golden Ring, whose name I don't remember. It was close to Vladimir. I don't remember.
Suzdal?
Huh?
Suzdal?
No, definitely not.
No.
I also
No.
wanted to. I was this close also to go to Kazan, because they told me that it was completely different because of the Tartar influence, but I never got the chance to go there finally, which is a pity.
Yeah, then just because 2 years is not enough, especially when you study.
Yeah, I was always trying just like find some time, but yes.
Yeah, and so the student holidays are not that long, and I think that you always wanted to maybe visit your own town, come back to Spain. And do you usually passed exams in the correct time, or
all of them? Yes.
all of them? Yes. And how much time did it take to you to prepare for one exam, for example?
It depended also on the subject. For example, I remember that for nuclear physics, I had to spend lots of time.
3 days, 4, 5 a week?
Maybe a full week for that one. Yes, I mean it also depended on how much work I was doing during the classes, during the year. I mean, for nuclear physics, for example, I remember that I was working quite hard during the whole semester, and then I still had to spend like one full week for it. But there were other subjects which they were mainly theoretical, so I was during the year already making some summaries, and just the last 3 days before the exam, were memorizing them, and that's it.
Okay. So, do you want to get PhD degree? Or you
Already
never
not.
mind?
Already not. I mean, I was not really very interested before, but since I already found the job, not very interested.
Okay. So, and the last question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give an advice for our future international students? Maybe 1, 2, 3 advice.
Well, first of all, I would tell them that if they have slightly considered going to Russia, then they should definitely go. My experience was very nice. I enjoyed a lot. I have no regrets, to be honest. And everyone was very amiable to me. I never had any problem. I learned lots of useful things. The teachers were great. My classmates were also awesome. So if they are thinking just slightly of going, they should definitely go. Just try to find the contact of the person from that master that they're looking for, and start gathering the documents. They are not going to regret about it.
Okay, so we are not that cold as many people think. Yeah.
Definitely not.
Okay, so thank you very much, Iker.
You're welcome.
If someone asks us, can we give them your contacts? Maybe. Yeah?
Yes, you can do it. Yes.
So
So,
thank you.
no problem.
Yeah. So,
Thank
bye.
you. Goodbye.